Good Sunday evening, folks. It's NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Shear. A little bit late now, 9:38, feels like 10:38, but we have snow on the way for some areas over the next couple of days, and I want to get into why that's going to happen and how much we're going to see in a brief forecast update for you this evening. As we take a look at windy.com, you can see an area of low pressure northeast of Newfoundland. This area of low pressure poses no direct threat to our weather, although it is windy in the Labrador Sea. You can see that there with the bright colors. But it is helping to essentially drive a little bit of a trough, which is going to be stationary across eastern and northeastern Newfoundland, and even back across the interior over the next couple of days, which is going to drive some pockets of heavier snowfall. And you can already see that trough axis kind of setting up shop across northeastern Newfoundland right there where I have the kink. Where you get the kinks in the isobars, you generally get air coming together from two different directions. Where you get that, you get convergence. Where you get convergence, you get lift. And when you get lift, you can get areas of precipitation. In fact, we're already seeing some of that right now as we take a look at the live radar here on my phone. This is from RadarScope. You can see that we are seeing a little bit of a band of heavy snow just north of St. John's, across Conception Bay, across Trinity Bay, and just south of Clarenville. And another area of snow now along the southern shore, back to just south of Holyrood, back to Chapel Arm, and just south of the Isthmus. And as we set the radar into motion, you can see the snow is generally developing and expanding in coverage right now across eastern areas of the island. And it likely also does extend back into here as well, even though the radar isn't showing it, which indicates that the trough is beginning to do its dirty work. We're starting to see that snow develop, which means that what the computer models are thinking in regard to what's going to happen over the next couple of days is probably kind of along the lines of what's actually going to transpire. So as we take a look at this computer model, this is the RDPS model starting us off at 3:30 a.m. Monday morning, so tonight. And in that point, it's showing the heaviest snow there in green across the Avalon, back across northern parts of the Avalon Peninsula, with generally lighter snowfall in grays to the north and south of there. Now the question becomes, is where does this heavy snow band set up as we go throughout the day? So as we go into tomorrow afternoon, what you can see here is that green layer, which indicates the heaviest snow, has lifted north of St. John's and the Avalon Northeast, but it's still affecting parts of the Avalon North. It's affecting Clarenville. It's affecting Random Island. As we go into tomorrow evening, that begins to dip back down to the south. The light to moderate snow there in green expands in coverage a bit, and then we're seeing snow tomorrow night into Tuesday morning across parts of the Avalon, lingering flurries for most of Newfoundland as we go through Tuesday and even into Wednesday, but not a whole lot in the way of significant additional accumulation. Now the question becomes is how much snow is there going to be? Well, this RDPS model thinks the highest snowfall is going to be on a narrow swath, essentially from just north of St. John's to Greats Cove, Bay de Verde area, up through Random Island and Clarenville, where it's forecasting these darker purples to reds, which indicates between about 15 and 25 or 30 centimeters of snow. But it's a pretty small area, folks. We're talking about probably an area that's 25, 30 kilometers wide. So the question becomes, is the computer model right in plotting it here? And when I've seen these small scale features forecast in the past, generally the idea is right in where it's going to end up, but the placement is a bit wrong. So if you're anywhere north or south of this, you're not out of the woods. In fact, the computer is forecasting 13 centimeters at St. John's, even not being in this. So we could be talking about some relatively significant snowfall anyway, but if that's a little bit farther south, instead of 13, we're maybe 20, 25, perhaps a little bit more if the snow is fluffy. It's just going to depend exactly where the heavy snow band does set up. Now, the European computer model, which is also kind of pointing to the same kind of setup, is thinking it's going to be just northwest of St. John's, but encompassing more of the Avalon North, more of the Bonavista Peninsula, Clarenville, Random Island areas. We're talking about 15, 25 centimeters of snow, more if it's fluffy between late tonight and really midday Tuesday. But again, it's a small feature, so it doesn't take much of a change to move that little area north or move it to the south. And again, I don't think the computer always gets these placements right. So what you can start to look at is, where is it most likely going to set up? And you can look at a couple of different parameters, but again, if I was on the Avalon, I'd be concerned that if the forecast is 10-15, like it is for St. John's, we could end up on the higher end of that. Or it could go opposite. We could end up really low. But also keep in mind this, areas of central and interior Newfoundland, we're still talking about 5, 10, 15 centimeters of snow. over the next couple of days as well. So even you are kind of not out of the woods in regards to snow over the next couple of days. But we can also look at the ensembles. And what the ensembles are, it's basically one computer model that has a bunch of different members. Their math is tweaked a little bit, and you run all 50, and you look at the data and you find out where you have agreement and disagreement. And you can do all sorts of things with this kind of data, including looking at snowfall probabilities, or what's the likelihood of seeing X amount of snow or more in certain areas. So this is the Europeans model, ensemble model, showing us snowfall probabilities of seeing 3 inches of snow or more between now and Wednesday morning, most of it tonight into tomorrow. And it thinks the highest prob of that is going to be on the Bonavista Peninsula and the Avalon North, where it's showing roughly 100% chance of that happening. You can see it right there. St. John's, we're still looking pretty good, 70 to 90% in that realm there, and then those high amounts go back inland and then along the west coast. When it comes to seeing 6 inches or more, which is over 15 centimeters, so 3 inches is 7 centimeters, 6 inches is 15 or more, it looks like the best chance of that is going to be generally toward the Avalon North, Random Island, Bonavista Peninsula area, with St. John's just kind of in that 10 to 20% chance of seeing that much snow. So at the moment, it looks like this area here, Avalon North, Bonavista Peninsula, Clarenville, Random Island areas, that's the area that is likely to see 15 centimeters plus over the next 24 to 36 hours, with generally less than 15 possible for other areas of the Avalon Peninsula and adjacent areas of interior and western Newfoundland. So that's generally what it looks like over the next couple of days. Could be a little bit stormy at times, but that really is about it. Hope you found this update informative. Take care, stay safe, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow on NTV.